All right, all right, all right. Thank you so much again for choosing to join us today. This is a beautiful day that we've come to you. And welcome to your most amazing, informing, engaging program. This is Holistic Wellness, brought to you by Salem Consultants and Madam Anne Karambo. We are excited as always to have you join us as we learn together. And as usual, I'm having my powerful panel today, and that is Madam Anne Karambo herself. She can say hi to the viewers.
Hi viewers.
Karibu sana, welcome so much. That's how we say it in Kenya. Welcome so much, and we have Pastor Rose. Say hi to our viewers.
Hi viewers.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you so much. Before we continue, kindly go on Facebook, search for Anne Karambo Mwangi. Not really like our page, share this program with your family and your friends. You can send your friend request, we're going to accept it, and you be our friend, so that anytime we come in live, you're able to be notified for you to learn more and more every other day. Thank you so much. So welcome so much. And last week we started discussing a very critical topic, and we were handling teenage pregnancy and parenting. Today I want us to pick it from there, and we were able to realize what is happening and how to handle the whole situation. And today we want to look into this one aspect that will help you as a parent. You as a young girl, you've been through that. It's happening right now. How are you able to continue with your life? Are you able to recollect yourself or collect your pieces and move forward? We are here. We shall know more about that from my panel. And you young men, you're there regretting. You're responsible for what happened. What about it? Are you going to have any future ahead of you? Well, that's why we are here. And again, as Holistic Wellness, we will never come to judge you. We will never come to condemn you. We come to tell you there is hope and to give you a pathway on what you can do and the way forward for you to live a better life. Remember, it's Holistic Wellness, whereby we take care of your whole life holistically. So we begin from there, and I begin with Madam Anne. Good to have you always on the show.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure. And help us begin here. Teenage pregnancy.
Yeah.
We may not go back to define what is happening.
Yes.
But that girl who is already pregnant, expecting, and that mother, the mother of daughters, do we have any hope to continue with life?
Yes, there is hope. Festus.
Yeah.
Maybe let me start this morning by saying that we in the past we've had a situation where, like, when a girl, like especially the girls, when the girl becomes pregnant, what has been happening in the past is that we, of course, mostly they discontinue school, and if you look at it logically, you realize really there is no need for that child discontinuing with school, because that is not the end of their life. And this is what we are saying this morning, that yes, the mistake happened, yes, this has happened, there is no need of the dreams that this child was having being terminated. Was she in campus? They can be able to continue with their education. Are they in high school? Once they are done with taking care of the child, and the child is in a position to be left from 1 year to at least 1 year, or for those that are day scholars, maybe 6 months. Once that child is able to be left at home with someone who can be able to take care of them, this young girl can go back to school and still have a productive life in the society. Because what will happen if we do not take care of this girl, we are going to create a person that will live unfulfilled. All the time, they will always be remembering that it was during this time that I became pregnant with this child, this is the time when my dreams were cut short. But this is what we are trusting God and believing that we will be able to put to an end, so that the child who will be born grows up in the right environment, and also this child who has gotten a child be able to grow and continue with their dreams. We've had so many people who have been able to achieve their dreams to the fullest, even after they got those challenges, and their lives are moving on well. And of course, even the children are not feeling neglected, because remember, this is a human being. This child who has just been born is a human being, deserving a life that is also productive for them. So when we look at it, not like a pregnancy, because at times we look at it like this person has become pregnant. So we are not really having that thought that the pregnancy is carrying another human being into the world, who also requires an environment that they will grow as productive people in the society. So that is what we are discussing today, looking for ways. What are the ways that we can be able to, yes, the problem has happened. This has happened to us. Because this is not, we are not ending life because pregnancy came. Then we also need to know, what do we do with the pregnancy? Yeah.
What do we do with the pregnancy? Pastor Rose, what do we do with the pregnancy? We're looking for ways.
Yeah.
Because life must continue. As Madam
Very
Ann said,
true.
as she said, is that there's another life carried in the womb of that young lady.
Yeah.
What happens?
Thank you, Mr. Festus. Let me say that once the girl is pregnant, the action has already taken place. And this life that is in the womb must be guarded. And it is upon the mother or a lady relative, whoever is close to that child, should tell the person, whatever the age, because I remember there is another girl who got pregnant in class 7, and whoever was near her disowned her. But the sister to the father of that child, girl, took upon herself to cater for that girl. And that girl was taken care of, because this girl already has trauma. And there is a being growing inside. And you know that child needs care, a lot of care actually. So it is very important to know that the child needs care and the girl needs care. As for those 9 months, they should take care of that person. As much as you are annoyed about the girl, as much as you are annoyed about the boy or the young man, it is important now to understand they need help. Both of them. You know, we are looking at the girl, but the child also needs a lot of help. So it is a time nutritionally. They should eat properly, given the right food, guided in the right way. And the person near that girl should continually encourage her. Yes.
So there seems to be a role that must be played.
True.
We are trying to say there should be no condemnation.
There shouldn't. There shouldn't.
There shouldn't be any condemnation.
Yes.
How do we pick this young girl from that stage of feeling I've sinned against everyone? Because I'm sure some of them have been told you've been to church all through.
Yes.
I took you to church when you were as very young, and see the shame that you brought in our family.
That
How
is
do
it.
we remove that shame in the life of that young girl?
One thing we normally like to be associated with is people who are perfect.
Yes, yes.
And we like there are some traditions when the girl messes, she belongs to the mother.
That's
When-
true.
Yeah.
When the girl performs, she belongs to the father. So at this juncture, the mother or the relative, this lady, should be strong and stand for the girl and encourage her.
Yeah.
Okay, we are not just saying it didn't happen. It has happened.
Yeah.
But life must continue. And we should help this young lady. Already she has condemned herself. Why should we want to be identified with the people who are perfect? After all, we are not also perfect. It's only that this one got in a mess of pregnancy. How many other messes are we in that are not open? So it is a time, I see it is a time to identify yourself with that person. Come what may, whether people talk, whether they cast me out, there is a life to live.
There is a life to live. Because we are trying to get this young lady
Yeah,
to have that confidence and to a little bit build on her self-esteem.
Yeah.
yeah.
How do we do that? Because she wants to rise up, but then every other time she wants to rise up and strengthen herself, she feels like, no, I've wronged against everyone. How do we pick up from that?
Maybe we can start from the point of, yes, the pregnancy has happened. This is a mistake, yes. We are not, and I think I've said in the past that we are not trivializing the mistake.
Yeah.
The mistake has happened.
Yeah.
Now, it is the time for the adult, because remember, this child who has a child is still a child.
Yeah.
So we become the adults, because the moment now now the parent is throwing tantrums and is up on and uncontrollable and is speaking all manner of words to this child, you make even their life more unstable.
True.
So because you are not going to procure an abortion, you are not going to kill your daughter,
Yeah.
the starting point is, how then do I calm down and be able to handle this situation that has already happened?
Yeah.
Because now there is no reverse to a pregnancy. And unfortunately, although we even do abortion, that is not a reverse.
It is.
Because we will live, that child will always live remembering that I committed an abortion, I killed someone. So, because the problem has already happened,
Yeah.
so parent, that person who is feeling very devastated, the starting point is recollect yourself as the parent first. Because you have to stabilize in your mind so that you can be able to also deal with this child who is already feeling very devastated.
Yes.
And remember, although they may not be looking remorseful, this is not something a 14-year-old, a 16-year-old had ever expected will ever happen in their lives. And remember, at times, most of these pregnancies, most of them are not planned. Pregnancies of teenagers is not something really they were planning that it will happen. Some, it was just the experimentation that was happening. Others, it is abuse. And unfortunately, at times, we even condemn those that have gone through abuse, even rape.
Yeah.
I hear some, of course, you hear some adults saying it's because of the way you wear, it is because of how you like going out at night, it is because, so it's like you're justifying the abuser.
The abuser, right?
So the starting point as the adult who is the caregiver of this young girl, the starting point is stabilize your mind first. Because if you're not stable in the mind, then there is no way you'll be able to handle this child now who is unstable. Now, most of these children also start, come and inform us about their pregnancies when it is very late.
Yeah.
So normally you realize that child has not gone for any antenatal care. And remember, antenatal care is supposed to start the very first month of pregnancy.
Yes.
Because of course the challenges that would come. So there is no way an unstable parent will be able to take a child for antenatal care.
Okay.
So even to be able to take them through that journey of antenatal care, because the same way you needed care when you were expectant, it is the same way this child needs care from that caregiver.
Yeah.
So once the child has come and they have been able to explain to you that I am expectant,
Yes.
now it is the first step. Once you have stabilized yourself,
Yes.
it is now start antenatal care immediately.
Immediately.
The next thing that a parent can do is seek professional counseling
Yes.
Yeah.
for the child. And when we are saying this, it's not like we are saying that they must be brought to us. There are so many professionals out there
Yes.
that can be able to handle this girl emotionally and be able to support them through this procedure. And also the parent, if you're in you're feeling completely those your emotional state is not good, it is also good to seek for professional help.
Yes.
Because when we get this professional help, then we will be able to support these two children that are equally vulnerable at this point. The teenager is vulnerable. One, they are carrying a pregnancy that can be a life-threatening situation for this young girl. This is not what we want to see. The child, this child is carrying is equally also vulnerable, because if they are not nurtured well, they will not grow, they will not be born healthy. So we also want them to be born healthy. So the next thing is, of course, making sure you provide for them nutritionally, because you realize now the needs, the nutritional needs of this child who has a child are higher than when they were just children. The first nutritional need is iron. Iron that the child will need because, of course, of the blood requirements of this growing baby. There is the issues of folic acid. There are issues of making sure that their calcium levels are good. So a well-balanced diet is important. There is no way a child will eat a well-balanced diet when every time the parent gets in or that caregiver gets into the house is complaining, speaking negative words, abusing the girl. That child, although you may provide all the food that you may provide, they will not be able to feed on that food, because the emotional status is not stable. And remember, even of course, we all know that the emotional status of a mother is key to even how the child will be born. The health of that child before they are born is determined by how their emotional status was when they were expected. So we also don't want to bring up children who are emotionally unstable. Remember now, this becomes, it is not just called pregnancy. It is another life that is coming through this child. So when we understand that and we look at it that way, then it will become very easy to be able to support that child. And if you cannot be able to handle that state, kindly seek for advice, seek for help. There are people out there, there are so many people who can be able to support. You can have support from the church, we can have support from there are NGOs that support such cases. You can have, we counselors are out there, we are willing to help. Social workers are willing to help. So if you can be able to kindly look for help that will help you support this child, so that both your teenager and the child that is just about to be born, they come out healthy. But even as they are coming out healthy, their mental, emotional status is very important. And that one mostly is determined by how we behave, or the way we react to the situation, and how we look and how we look into the problem. Because you realize what comes out first is definitely abuses, showing them how useless they are, condemning.
Mm.
Those are the first ones that will come
Yeah.
naturally.
Mm.
But we can be able to handle our emotions first,
Yeah.
so that we can be able to go handle the emotions
Mm.
of this child
Yes.
who already feels an emotional turmoil happening in their mind because of what has just happened. Yeah.
I think we are heading somewhere.
Yeah.
And we saying, parents, let's accept
Mm.
it has already happened.
Mm.
Let's help our daughter.
Mm.
Our daughters, help your daughter.
Yeah.
We come here as parents to
Mhm.
tell you that condemnation will not help your daughter rise up.
Mm.
You may end up losing both your daughter and the unborn baby.
Yeah.
So let's give them some peace.
Mm.
It has already happened.
Mm.
We know their dreams. They are able to pursue their dreams.
Mm.
We know it can slow a few things in their lives.
Yeah.
But look, there is hope.
Mm.
That's what we are saying.
Mm.
There is hope.
Mm.
And thank you so much for joining us.
Mm.
Thank you, Caroline Mulobi.
Mm.
Thank you, Caro Wairimu too.
Mm.
Thank you, Lucy Gitao. Oh, Beatrice, you're saying, I love what you're doing. Thank you. God bless you, Beatrice.
Mm.
Thank you, Miri Miren. All right. Kagunyu, thank you so much. Thank you, Isabel. Thank you, Isaiah Muthe. We appreciate for your feedback. You can share this program on Facebook to your friends, to the groups that you know on Facebook. You can pick it from the account of Ann Karamomangi or from my account. Share with your friends on WhatsApp, on Facebook, to all the groups that you know. Let us help our young children. Let's help our daughters.
Mm.
Now, we realize that the emotional stability
Yeah.
of this young girl
Mm.
is very important.
Mm.
And as Madam Ann says, is that if we trouble them
Yeah.
beyond what they are experiencing right now,
Mm.
we may end up losing them, not maybe to death, but
Mm.
even if the child is born,
Mm.
maybe the child won't be as healthy,
Yeah.
and this young mother
Mm.
will also be, not really healthy again.
Mm.
That means we need the support of everyone.
Yeah.
And we are saying that there's a lot of support that
Mm.
we can get
Mm.
even beyond the family setup.
Yes.
But the question
Mm.
is anyone willing to expose their daughter and
Mm.
say, I need your support?
Mm.
Hey, counselor, hey,
Mm.
my daughter just conceived.
Mm.
How do we, I want us to help them know this, because
Yeah.
Madam Ann said it very well.
Mm.
A lot of people are willing to help support,
Yeah.
to help these girls.
Mm.
How can we help them
Yeah.
find support?
Mm.
What language are they
Mm.
going to use? That
Mm.
mother is asking support. How?
Mm.
They've always known my daughter is good at class.
Mm.
She's a beautiful young lady, and
Mm.
now she's messed.
Mm.
Let's accept that.
Yeah.
But now, how do we guide them to
No.
get the support?
Okay. There is a slogan in Kiswahili that says,
Mm.
watasema watachoka.
Okay.
There is something that we normally are so worried about. What will people say?
Yes.
Mm.
What will they say about me? Somebody else said, they've already talked too much behind your back. Don't worry what they will say. After all, even if your girl didn't get pregnant, they'll have also some things to say.
Okay.
So, as Madam Ann has said,
Mm.
it's a time of recollecting yourself
Uh-huh.
and stand strong
Mm.
and say that this is my child.
Mhm.
I must be identified with the person.
Mhm.
And remember that this very person, it's not the end of the life of her life.
Mm.
I think the parents should be bold enough
Mhm.
even to go to the teachers
Mhm.
and inform the person concerned,
Mm.
whether the principal or the headmaster,
Mhm.
and tell them, this is the condition of my child. So if you miss this child in class, know that she's at home, very safe.
Mhm.
That is the point that most parents
Mhm.
refuse, because when they consult the friends, they ask them, what are you telling me?
Mm.
Are you careless enough to let your daughter to end in that trap?
Mhm.
But the parent is not to blame.
Mm.
To some extent, we may blame the parents, see negligence and all that. But
Mhm.
suppose the child was raped. how does the parent come in there?
Mm-hmm.
So that is why I'm saying the parent needs to stand strong, whether she knew or she didn't know. But when she gets the information, from that information, act like a parent. Don't call your friends to help you. At this point, if it is seeking the counselor's advice, go to the counselor. If it is the pastor, go to the pastor. Do not hide the child.
Do not hide the child.
After all, the truth will come out.
Yeah.
Will you hide that child and the other newborn forever? No.
No.
So it is a time of coming out boldly.
Boldly.
I know it's not easy. It's
Yeah.
not, as I'm saying,
Yeah.
it's not easy. It takes the hand of God, especially when you've brought up these children in the church setup.
Yeah.
You'll be the talk of the day, but they will talk for that 1 week and go back to other business.
And finally, we'll have the baby born.
Yeah.
Yes.
We are waiting for that king,
Yeah.
that queen to be born. So don't you try to eliminate that child. Now, Pastor says there is hope, and people are willing, as you said.
Yeah.
I want you to guide our parents and those young girls who have been thrown into the village and told, go stay with your nana, grandmother. We don't need you in the city again. I want you, Madam Anne, to help us know who are these people we can approach to help us. Who can help our daughters during this time? Whether they are in their families or they've been taken back to their relatives. Who should we approach?
Maybe before I answer the question you're asking,
Yeah.
I would want us to, I don't want us to be mistaken. We are not supporting young people to become reckless.
Yes.
Right.
I am an advocate of abstinence.
Yes.
I preach
Right.
abstinence. I have written a book specifically to help the parent
Yeah.
assist the child not to get into matters of sexuality
Yes.
before the right time.
That's right.
But even as we know this is what we would have expected done, remember that they will always mess up. Something will happen,
Yeah.
and it will they might find themselves in that mess. So we are not advocating that children become reckless.
True.
I think that disclaimer is important. Now, when we are at that, our starting point is us, counselors.
Yes.
That is why we are trained. We are trained
Yeah.
to be able to help society,
Yes.
to be able to deal with emotional turmoils, things that affect the mind,
Yes.
things that affect your daily life.
Yeah.
Now, we have pastors, we have teachers in school.
Yes.
Although the schools are closed, I believe we have numbers for teachers.
Yeah.
Teachers have been trained to handle such things. And if they cannot be able to handle, they will always be able to refer you to someone else.
Yes.
Apart from that, remember the help is not coming from the outside. Help will start from the house where that child is. Because if I am not willing to help, although I take to the counselor, regardless of what the counselor will say, I will not be able to support this child because remember, I don't have that desire myself to help. So it is the change of mind. I know in the past we have really castigated our children. And it is normally a talk of town. Hey, I am telling you, the other person's daughter is expectant, and you know, we give that story like it is a hype.
Yeah.
And it is normally, in fact, when we are giving those news, it's like they are very exciting news to give. When in the actual sense, that child is carrying a lot of pain.
Yes.
Yeah.
Parent, caregiver, it begins with you.
Yes.
When those news are broken in your house,
Yes.
how you react,
Yes.
how you behave,
Yes.
determines the future
Yes.
of your daughter,
Yes.
determines the future of your nephew, your niece, your auntie, that person that you're living with.
Yes.
So how you handle that particular situation, the
Yes.
support you give will determine the future of that child. And not only now the teenager,
Yeah.
but also this child that they are carrying.
Yeah.
Because when this child comes, how do we welcome them into the world,
Yeah.
regardless of the means they came with?
Yes.
Because remember, God uses different vehicles to bring us on the face of the
Yeah,
earth.
that's right.
We come from single parents, single fathers, broken relationships, any. But the moment we have landed, we have a purpose
Yeah.
and a reason to be around.
Yes.
As long as we came, our purpose begins.
Yes.
Yeah, as long as we came, by
Yes.
whatever means.
Yes, by whatever means, my purpose begins
Yes.
the moment I land. So we know we have so many we have so many people, very many stories of people who, in the eyes of men,
Yeah.
they were considered useless. In the eyes of men, it's like their case was done.
Yeah.
Everyone had already said they will amount to nothing.
Yeah.
But they're not nothing. They have been able to become productive people
Yes.
in the society.
Yeah.
Can you start making the life of your child and that of the unborn child productive today? And as we are speaking this conversation, I will not stop addressing parents
Yes.
of boys,
Yes, yes.
because this child did not get expectant alone.
Alone,
Yes.
that's
Parents, it's the high time we wake up. If you hear your son has a child somewhere, kindly take responsibility. The same way the parent of the child, of the girl, is taking responsibility of carrying the pregnancy to term.
Yes.
Carry the pregnancies to term also
Yes.
as the parent.
right. Yes.
Stop behaving like some magic happened. And in fact, I hear parents talk a lot. I mean, why did they not arrange themselves? Why did they not do the right thing? Why did they not? What was it that
The
they
right
were
thing.
supposed to do?
I mean,
What was it that they were not supposed to do, which is not abstinence? I don't know anything else they would have done, which is not abstinence. So if your son engaged themselves in sex with this girl, let your son take responsibility. Because remember, the same way your son has dreams is the same way the daughter to someone else
Yes.
that they have impregnated
Yes.
had dreams. Apart from the dreams,
Yeah.
this child who is to be born also has dreams that needs to be accomplished. So, boy, girl,
yes.
wake up, take responsibility together.
Yes.
But I have a problem with the parents because it is the parents who make the sons not to take responsibility. I remember we had a case of a young man, but
Yes.
that was not a teenager. This is a person who is mature enough,
Yes.
over 18.
Yes.
He impregnates a girl. They know completely it is true that he is responsible, and the parents threw tantrums like, you know the way they behaved. I think I felt so bad. It's like this child who is being born is a nothing, and my son is everything. So they made sure they influenced the boy not to take care of the child that was to be born, and also this girl that they had impregnated. And this is the thread that we have, especially for us Kenyans. I think it is a thread that we must work on. Parents of boys, let us teach them to be responsible, because what is going to happen if you allow them to slip off this first one, they will have a third, a fifth, and a sixth.
Yes.
No one asks them any question. So why will I not do it and do it and do it again? Because after all, I will just no one is going to force me to take responsibility.
Yeah.
No one.
Yeah.
But it is the responsibility of you, parent,
Yes.
of that boy.
Yes.
Make him take responsibility.
Yes.
Whether he is in Form 1, whether he's in Form 2, the same way this girl is carrying the pregnancy, the boy should be equally present.
Yeah.
Wow, beautiful. No one should be absent during this time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not you young men, because you are responsible. Not you parents of the young men. Let's support this girl. First to bring the unborn child on earth. Let the unborn child begin their lives. Then we can do the other cases later. You can punish your son later, but let them be responsible, please.
No, we are not punishing the son.
Yes.
The same way we are not punishing the girl,
Yes.
we are also not punishing the boy.
Yeah.
The boy is just supposed to be told to be responsible.
Be responsible.
That this is your child.
Yes.
Whatever time you are going to get your support, you
Yes.
will support this child. So, because this is the responsibility of the parent,
Yes.
of the son,
Yes.
so you take that responsibility
To your parent.
until that boy
Yes.
is able to take responsibility
Yes.
of that child by themselves. The
Yes.
same way the girl is being made to carry the pregnancy.
Yeah.
Let the boy be present. And remember, we are not forcing them to continue in a relationship.
Yes.
No, that is not what we are talking about.
Yes.
What we are talking about here is responsibility of the child, of the
Yeah.
unborn
The
child,
unborn child.
must be taken care of both parents,
Yes.
of the both teenagers
Yes.
that have been responsible.
Yes.
Is it this man, these errant boys who are just everywhere? If it is your son, if he is 25, 26, and you come to know that they have impregnated a teenager, make them be responsible.
Yes. It's about being
Yeah.
responsible. Because equally, the girl is there and she cannot avoid that by any means because it has already happened. Therefore, let us not leave them alone. I know, young lady, we're giving you the hope. I know this can rob your joy, your childhood, your dreams, but hey, there is hope. You can still pursue your dreams even after this. Let us see what our viewers are saying. Thank you, Abigail, for joining again. Thank you. We appreciate. Kindly send us your questions. You got any question for Madam Anne? Got any question for Pastor Rose? Tell us the questions. We're going to answer them here right away in this show. Thank you, Faith David, also for joining us. Thank you, Shikuku Abigail. We appreciate. And we have come to realize one thing. All right. We're getting some more questions here. And thank you so much. Isabel, how do you deal with the situation where the young boy child has impregnated a young child? All right. That's one question. I think we've been able to answer that, but maybe Abigail, you didn't get that. I'll request Madam Anne, how do we deal with that young man?
Let's Madam Rose do.
Pastor
Because
Rose.
I had given that.
You had
line.
given that, yeah, she'd given that.
Yeah.
Pastor Rose, how do we deal with the situation where the young man has impregnated this young girl? How do we handle that?
Before I answer that question,
Yes,
as Madam Anne was talking,
yes,
I saw the role of the parent, knowing the friends
yes,
these boys have, the girls.
yes,
When you know a certain girl is a friend to my boy,
yes,
if told that something has gone wrong,
yes,
you will not be up in arms. Because already you knew there was a relationship. There is a name they use, I don't know what it means so much. Beste, huyu ni beste wangu. So when you are told huyu ni beste wangu,
Yeah.
unamuuliza beste wa aina gani? You know you are trying to dig deeper.
yeah.
Just a friend or maybe further than that. So this boy, if you know there is a certain girl,
Yeah.
they are relating,
Yes.
and then something happens, already it's like psychologically you are prepared.
You're prepared,
But
right?
most parents don't know the friends
Yes.
because they are brought after we go to work.
Mm.
They party in that home,
Yeah.
they clean the house, They wash the utensils, and the boy is very innocent. But the boy, I should say that once you befriend that girl and you go to the extent of having that child,
Yes.
that is your own offspring. Do not run away. Do not deny the girl. You enjoyed the session, and therefore take up the responsibility.
Yes.
Be man enough.
Be a man enough.
If you require some help,
Yes.
tell the parents.
Yes.
Do not throw away the girl.
You
You know that is your child.
Yes.
So mature up.
Mature up.
Even if you are 16 years, can you say, this is my child? Watakupeleka wapi?
All right. Take the responsibility.
Yes.
I hope, Isabel, you got your answer very clear. You are a young mother. Probably you are in the same case we are trying to handle here. You got pregnant when you are still at school, maybe, or as a teenager. And as Madam Anne said, well, and this is the truth, none of teenage pregnancy is really planned for.
Yeah, it's true.
And we know some of the reasons is that they might be experimenting what they've learned in school, and again their bodies experience some changes. So you feel like, let's try to see what happens. If you're a young mother, a teenager, maybe you already got your child and you're a teenager, kindly send us your question and we're going to handle that as we continue. Right. Before I go to Madam, I'll be coming back to you, Madam Rose, Pastor Rose. And I want to say this one to Madam Anne. We've realized that most of the teenage mothers, they turn out to become powerful advocates of change, especially in our country. Is that true, or is it just a say in our nation?
Any kind of change does not happen when it is not planned for.
Okay.
So the reason as to why we are encouraging parents, the reason as to why we are encouraging that young person who has found herself in that confusion of pregnancy,
Yes.
it is because we have evidence
Yes.
that when a young person is encouraged, not only pregnancy, even these other challenges that they face, issues of drug abuse and everything, if they're encouraged and empowered, they are able to navigate through life as very powerful people, very powerful agents of change.
Yeah.
So yes, there is a lot of hope, parents. I wish we just understood and saw beyond the pregnancy, because the problem is that we magnify the problem. When in the actual sense, you just need to look at that problem and call it opportunity. Just the same way there's so many things that have happened during this time of coronavirus pandemic. There are so many opportunities that have brought out themselves. Things that we never thought we would do, we are doing them now. So how you look at a problem determines whether it is going to become a stepping stone for you, or it is going to become a stumbling block for you. I don't know whether we got that right. What I said is the way we look at a problem determines whether it is going to be a stepping stone or a stumbling block. And what we are coming to us to talk about this morning is we are encouraging us to make this problem of teenage pregnancy, this teenager in your house who is pregnant, make it a stepping stone for you as a parent and for the teenager. Because the moment you encourage them, you allow that. Now, of course, the starting point is this. I had guided you on these matters. I told you issues of early pregnancy or boy-girl relationship. You did not hear me. Now, the pregnancy is here with us. I will help you. Now, this is the mother speaking. I will stand with you. We are going to raise this child together. But kindly, promise me that you will never go this path again. I am assuring you that girl, that young boy, is going to rise up in a way that you will never imagine. Because already one, they have felt they have not been condemned. Two, they already know they did a mistake, so they don't want to go to the same fire.
Okay.
So they have already learned from their mistakes. But now the moment we bash them and we talk ill to them, what happens is that we are going to make their emotional state be unstable. What is going to happen is, because they are rejecting themselves, when they go out there and they find somebody who is just opening their arms to embrace them, even if that person is another predator, they are going to embrace, they will allow them to embrace them in the guise of looking for somebody who can embrace, who is not at least judgmental. So they will get into trouble and another trouble. Again, when we make their emotions unstable, they can easily be exposed to drug and substance abuse. Another thing they can easily be exposed to is depression. So when someone is deeply depressed, what is going to happen? Definitely suicidal attempts come. So do we want our children to go through that path? Why can't we pick this easy path? It is the easiest to pick. Yes. It is a responsibility. You've just been added another plate to serve in the house. Yes, it will happen. But that support is able to create a giant out of your child. And we have seen it happen. We have seen it in so many people. People that you hear their names, and of course if they have not told you they are teenage mothers, you will never know, because they have excelled even in this nation to become very great people. People that we all admire. But can you make your child a person that the world is going to admire with this problem that they have found themselves in? And this is what we are advocating for. Your child can become an agent of change. In the world, not only in our nation, not only in your community, they can become agents of change. Because the moment, because they already know that problem, they will go speaking to others. Like my daughter has written a book, and I remember I did a lot of disciplining when she was younger, below 10. I disciplined her properly. So what she does with the brothers, she keeps guiding them, because she doesn't want them to go through what she went through. Because of course I did proper disciplining of beating properly with the rod. We have been told not to put the rod down. So I was not putting it down on her. So what she does, she's helping the brothers not to go through the pain that she went through. So it is because of that pain that she was in. She was also bullied in school. So she has now become an advocate of failing to bully others. So this, I am telling you, parents, are treasures that we cannot exchange with anything else. I'm just trusting that we have been able to inspire one parent or two to be able to embrace their children, although they came in the state they're in. And because we all thrive in positive affirmation. The moment we are affirmed positively, there is there's something inside us that drives, that grows. So because we have been affirmed, what happens is that we are prone to bring out the best out of us. So even in that poor, bad situation, if we can be able to empower that child and still be able to bring out the best in them, because inside them it's not only pregnancy that is inside. There is so much potential in them. So affirm that potential parents, and you will see the giants we are going to raise in this nation.
Wow, great. And not only, we're not talking about local champions or local giants. We're talking about global champions, global giants. That is powerful. Thank you so much, Nashon Nyapanda, for joining us. Thank you so much, Reverend John Kigoto. Thank you for joining us. Now, we are heading to the end of our program today. But before then, there's one part I only wish us to leave out. We've been able to help the parents Actually, the child who is the victim,
Okay.
both the young man and the young lady, the young girl, to help them how to behave in this whole thing, how to respond to everything, and also to help the parent. I'm sure right now you're feeling good in your heart, parents, because there is hope, and you've been able to understand how to behave and how to conduct it and how to do everything towards that. But now the pastors. I want us to help our pastors.
Yeah.
How to behave before this young lady and this young man. Because pastors also, they had hopes
Yeah.
in these girls. in
Very
these young
true.
boys.
Mm.
Praise and worship, choir, ushers, teenage teachers, you know, and they are like, what? Are you saying, how do we help the pastors? Kwanza, for them to first handle this
Yeah.
and be able to accommodate it, then know how to handle these young people.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now that it has happened,
Yeah.
when it had not happened, you are very comfortable. I think the first thing the pastor, after noting there is something, getting the report, and it is very true. I think it is very important to look at this child as his or her own child and call the person to the office. Not in public, not to stand at the pulpit and maybe look at the girl, maybe she's present, it's not yet seen, and say from today you are excommunicated. You've ruined that person. But try to know the story also. Maybe you are condemning the girl, and maybe the person in charge is still in the church. So for her, she knows, why does the pastor condemn me?
Yeah.
And the person is there. So it's very important
Yes.
to look at the big picture of that person.
Yes.
I think the first thing, call the person to the office.
Uh-huh.
That private, confidential handling.
Yes. Remember, we are helping the pastor to handle this.
So there are steps for the pastor as a clergy
Yeah.
to take. Let the pastor also be very wise. Even if it has happened, the people know. Take the necessary steps. Don't condemn that person.
Yes.
After the period of waiting, allow the person to come back and be reconciled. Yeah, so it requires a lot of wisdom, because that person is not destined to hell. If the Samaritan woman was destined to hell, why did Jesus talk to her? And then she ended up, as I said, to be an evangelist.
Yeah.
Why? That passion, the unconditional love. We are not encouraging it to happen, but the unconditional love.
Yes.
I remember there is one bishop said somewhere, a pastor's daughter got pregnant, and he said it in public. I will walk with that girl. In public. I know it is wrong, because the father had disowned the child. He is a pastor. The bishop told the pastor, give me the girl. I will walk with her. You see, now, after that, I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
But I am sure the bishop talked to the father.
Yes.
Because you cannot throw your child.
Yeah.
It is your child. The mess, maybe the devil used that to fight you.
Yeah.
But it's good that the grace of the Lord is sufficient.
Yeah,
It
sure.
requires God's grace.
God's grace.
It's not easy.
Yeah, but with wisdom it's possible.
It is.
And to you, Madam Anne, remember, viewers, we are coming to the close of this program, and we are so happy you've been able to join us. But before then, still we've been able to be taught by Pastor Rose how the pastors should behave. But look, but look, I want you to there seems to be a conflict between the pastor and the parent. Iyo kanisa, it is the church. They never teach morals. And the pastor says, you parents, you never come to church. When you need them, you don't bring them. So how do the pastor and the parent, because they're blaming each other, how do they handle
Uh,
this?
My expectation was that I would not answer that question of the pastors,
Okay.
because unfortunately I've handled situations where young girls and young men have been wounded badly in church, badly. In a way, somebody is not able to go back to church completely because of the way they were handled with the situation. So I think maybe what I would say is we need to also work on the issues of self-righteousness, because remember, I've also had someone say that if you bring back this girl who was expectant, you're going to encourage the youth to also follow suit in that trend. And for me, I'm not a believer of that. I know that is not what is to happen, because even when we are encouraging the parents to support this girl who is expectant, we are not saying that the parent is encouraging the younger siblings to do the same thing. I believe that is not what we are saying. So a mistake has happened.
Yes.
So I will still ask the pastors, the caregivers, the youth pastors, the youth leaders, what would Jesus do in that situation? Let me not answer more than that.
All right.
What would Jesus do? That is the only message I would want to give to the pastors, because personally I have handled several cases of, because I interact with young people more, and most of them are in church, and I have interacted with many that have fallen in that trap of pregnancy before marriage, and the way they have been treated in the church is not right. So I will just ask, what would Jesus do? Kindly let us be ambassadors of Jesus and not ambassadors of the devil. Because the only person who condemns is the devil. God does not condemn. When we sin, the first thing that the Holy Spirit will direct us to is the cross. The price was paid for all my sins, including pregnancy. And you know the problem with pregnancy is only because it has a physical manifestation. There are so many sins we do on a daily basis. The reason as to why we are not condemned is because they don't have a physical manifestation. So kindly, please, let us stop condemning the young people.
Yes.
And it is a sad point.
It's a sad point. And it was a sad point, and we didn't know we'd get into that note, but kindly let us not condemn our young girls, our young men. In our program today, we've been able to guide you how to handle the whole situation and how to build self-esteem again in this young girl. Let us hold their hands. Let us walk with both the young man, the young lady. Let us show them how to be responsible in a good way. That moral support is very important. Thank you so much for joining us. It's been a whole hour of talking to you, and we've been having Madam Anne and Pastor Rose. Felicitas Gikubu, thank you. Thank you, Richard Sami. Though you've joined us later, but I'm sure you're able to watch this program later. Viewers, in case you're joining us at this time, you can always watch this program even later and share with your family and your daughters, your sons. Go to Facebook and search for Anne Karambu Mwangi or Salem Consultants. Send Anne your friend request. She'll be able to accept your friend request, and you're going to get notifications when we are coming live on Facebook, and get to learn more. And also search for Salem Consultants. You'll be able to see our website there, our contacts there. We have books. You're able to get books on depression, on sex and sexuality, on abstinence. We've got a lot of resources for you. Thank you for joining us. This has been Holistic Wellness, brought to you by Madam Anne Karambu Mwangi and Salem Consultants. We've been having as always Pastor Rose and Madam Ann Karambu. God bless you for joining us. I'm your host, Festus Mwandi.